All right, friends, this is going to be an experimentation of what it's like to try to add Supabase using Cursor. And the reason I'm choosing Supabase is because, I just like hosted databases and I think it'd be really cool to use Supabase. So we're going to do it. And bear with me now as I create a Supabase project. I think the first thing I'm going to do is create a new organization, and it's going to be, I'm going to call this Neo Savvy Demo org, primarily because I want to show you the whole process, but I don't want to show off the secrets that I'm going to use for sure. So like when you go through a Supabase project, you actually have to kind of like download and set up some secrets. So I'm going to do all of that for you, but I'm going to delete all those secrets after the fact so nobody, like downloads my open source project and does some crazy stuff. So here's the deal. We've created a new organization. We've named the project. We're going to call this the Lift Demo, or no, the Rep Lift Demo. Um, Type in a strong password. I'm going to call test 1234 kitty cats and I don't know, oranges. Test 1234 kitty cats and oranges. That'll work. Pretty top secret there. We're gonna put the North Virginia because that's the closest to me right now. And let's see if I can remember that database password. I copied it. Thank goodness. All right, so here's some of the first secrets you'll end up seeing, and like I said, I didn't want to share those. So step one is kind of set up a place for your project to go, right? And as you just saw, if you watched another previous video, we saved our work in Git just to make sure that we can throw things away if we want. So over here in Cursor land, we're going to use Composer, and we're going to see how it treats us, right? Let's create a new Composer, and we want to set up Supabase to work with our application. We want people to be able to anonymously, here I'll zoom in so you can see me typing this stuff up here. We want people to be able to anonymously use the application, but if they are logged in, they can get some additional functionality. So for now, we want to be able to authenticate our users. Can you help us introduce Supabase authentication to our application? Let's see where this goes. All right, so it's going to help us do it. It's reading some stuff from package.json. So if you saw, I started from a um, fresh place here. So we're going to let it run this command. I'm good with that. Let's get it. So it's adding some additional packages here. And here we go. Now it's adding the hooks to make this work. And this is happening, it's creating a Supabase client. Now it's adding an auth context, and look, it noticed an error. So it's going to do that fix that error, which is great. I didn't need to do that. And look, the way we used to do this is we would like read documentation and follow instructions. But I can tell you, I don't particularly care to do that right now. And I think we're probably going to ask it to change those providers. It looks like it just asked to change it, set up Google and GitHub providers. We probably want to use like an email password provider for now and not presume that somebody wants to use that one. So let's see if we can't change that. Okay. Can we please change the providers from Google and GitHub to be just user pass, email, password? That's what I said right there. Cool. And it's just removing those. Great. I probably could have done that. Let's just zoom out here. Cool. So we're going to just accept the changes. Can you recompile and run this app? I am like maximizing lazy here, right? Like when I ask it to recompile and run the app. I bet it doesn't have the packages downloaded, but let's see what happens here. Okay. Yeah, that didn't work, did it? So let's do npm install. Neat. So great. It's got some changes. We probably need to npm run dev. It's running on port 41, 51, 74. I think it's working on some environment variables right now. It does not appear to have worked. So this is the example of where you don't want to check these in. It's so funny. And it tried to apply these to the wrong place. I don't want these here. You want these in your in file. It gives you an env example file. And so it's fine to check in your env example file, but since I'm like recording this, you never want to like do what I'm about to do, which is like show anybody your secrets. And that's why I'm going to show you the secrets, but when I publish this video, those secrets will no longer work because I will have deleted them. And where do we get these? So the Vite Supabase URL is going to come from here on. It's funny, I've already forgotten my password. You go to project settings and connect app frameworks. And it doesn't show you the Vite one, but you can use this. This is the URL for Supabase, and that's the anon key down there. So like what you can do is just kind of copy all this and edit it here. And these environment variables, the way they work is, I believe, if they're prefixed with Vite and you're using Vite, it will not include that. It will include it at kind of like compile time, but it won't be visible to folks when they're like debugging your application. All right, so these are your secrets. Should restart the server. It looked like it did it for me auto-magically, and it has switched me back to this port. Look, we're getting errors now, so it didn't load our application, which is kind of a bummer. And this is the kind of thing that happens when you make a change, right? Like, what happened? It's complaining. And so what I typically do is just, you can try to figure this out yourself if you want, or you can just say, seems something is wrong. You can share that with the LLM and let it try to help you figure it out. And there we go. So it's checking my M file now. It didn't believe me. Oh, extra white space, eh? All right. That's fair. And look, there it goes. It's working now. And cool. Do we see any capability to log into this thing? No. Let's ask it. Uh, okay, this is great. I don't see any way to log in. Can you show me where I would do that? I think I'd like to see I don't know, sign up, login beside the light/dark mode button. Yeah, who knows if that's what we should do, but let's see what happens. This is where a little bit of user experience thinking might be nice. I'm just winging it, but I'm also kind of checking to see like maybe it comes up with a good idea. I mean, I've given it some pretty generic ideas so far, and I've been like relatively happy with what it came up with. So it's going to open a modal, it looks like, and there's a little sign in button here that really doesn't look good. Um, let's just show it. So I don't know what it wanted it to look like, but this is what happens when you click the sign in. So I'm just gonna show the LLM like, hey, this is what it looks like when you sign in. Is this what you were thinking? Ah, yeah, give it that matrix aesthetic. That's what I was thinking too. Um, clearly read my mind. I'm not sure that it worked right. What if instead of a modal, we navigate to a page to handle sign up and log in and then navigate back? So what it's doing is it is installing React Router, which is pretty useful for like kind of nav. I think we've reached probably the point where we should have some router based navigation in our application, which is cool. And I'm letting it do that. It should probably, oh, there we go. It's installing it. It was waiting on me. Now it's adding that app component and giving us a nice theme. Let it do that. And it's adding navigation. So if you notice, we still haven't checked in our code because I wouldn't say that we're in a state where I'm like, boy, I'm just happy that this worked. So if we were ever unhappy with anything or like bummed at how it's working, we can just throw it all away. I'm going to accept all these changes and take a look at what we got. We got a big bunch of broken. And this happens. So what you do here is kind of look at your editor, excuse me, your debugger, and have a look at what works, what doesn't work. That's so weird. I don't know if that's the right debugger. Let's see. There we go. Now we're looking at the right debugger. Um, Yeah, this is really broken. So what I typically do is just to make sure I'm not preserving logs from a prior run, and this is just a mess. So I give it as much information as I can. Um, in the good old days, before we had this, you would have had to learn how to read these stack traces. Um, Here in the land of LLMs and things like that, you don't actually have to learn how to do these things. I guess that's not fair. You probably should learn how to do this stuff because this is good things to know in case you need it. So I'm just going to let all of that go and see if we've improved our lives at all. And the reasons it's good to know how these things work is probably because of what we're experiencing right now. Um, we're going to give this a refresh and let's display both at the same time. Let's clear this, give it a refresh. And you can see here, we're getting, this could happen for one of the following reasons. You have mismatching versions, and then it's telling us that it's an auth context line 13. And I think we should just tell it to fix this. And if we go over here to problems, do we see these problems? No. Interesting. It swapped const for function, which is kind of the not what I would have thought it would do. Let's go back to our terminal here. Just to make sure that it, oh, there we go. It needed a restart. And if we give it a refresh, let's just make sure that we're getting no errors, and we're not. So sign in. So this is a little better. Like I can live with this. It's got a whole bunch of normal stuff like email address, password, forgot your password. So let's see what happens if I do my email address. Cool. So that didn't work, which is right. I don't have an account. I'm going to sign up. Cool. Check your email for a confirmation link. I'm going to do that on another screen just to make sure that's working. And I think it's probably going to not work on confirm because I'm not on localhost. Oh my goodness, it did. So it logged me in and it's giving me a profile, which is cool. So it looks like I'm logged in. And I don't have a log out button, which is a bummer. We should probably add the ability to log out. Be able to log out. So let's make sure this is working. And then I'll show you how to verify that like things are up and running with Supabase, because it's good to be able to verify that like connectivity is working, and that usually is just involving like checking your auth database. I bet we're under 25 minutes or so right now, but let's see. I don't want this video to get too long so that it's useful for people. I mean, it's just being super verbose. Let's make sure it gave us a sign out button. Cool, so I'm signed out. I think the styling was a little janky, but let's just make sure I can sign in with that user again. And I can. And I can sign out. And I can see the user I'm signed in with, and I can sign out. Great. I think I'm going to leave this video there. Actually, nope. Let's do one last thing. Let's show you how you verify that it's up and running. So once you're into Supabase, you come here, and I like to go down to authentication, and you can just see the record I just created here get set up, and that's it. You now have the ability to hook into Supabase. All right, I will post a little more about this later because I'm going to add in the next video the ability to save information back to Supabase and run migrations. I think that's just another, justifies another video just in case somebody wants to look at just that. But thanks everybody for taking a look at this. I hope it's helpful. I've definitely seen people interested in seeing how this works. So see you in the next one.